South Loop. We have new information.
Illinois is a major step closer to banning the sale of certain types of assault weapons. The important vote expected today.
Plus, here comes the sun. Expect to see some very mild temperatures today as we welcome you on this Tuesday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Tanya Babich in for Terrell this morning on a beautiful start to the Tuesday. Look at that. Tracy, it's interesting. Those cloud formations, as we go to weather now, they almost look like rows, like columns of clouds.
Yeah, it could be some straticule that we're seeing, stratocumulus clouds out over the lake. Just really interesting. But this morning, a lot of those clouds are kind of departing and moving off to the east. There has been some rain in northern Indiana this morning. As we do take a look at the temperatures around, 35 right now at O'Hare, 39 degrees in Gary, 35 in Peatone, 33 in Joliet, and 30 degrees out in Aurora. Well, this morning is nowhere near as chilly as it was at this hour yesterday, but still, I can't say head out the doors without a coat. You still need that. High temperatures today officially in the mid-40s. Could even see 50 in a few spots. Roz, what are you seeing on the roads?
I'm seeing a lot of traffic, 35 to 40 minutes worth on most of the inbound expressways. No crashes on the expressways, but several out in the western suburbs. We've got a new one in West Chicago, Route 59 at Roosevelt Road. We still have police dealing with this one in Bartlett at Lake Street and Naperville Road. And we've got Chopper 7 over Barrington. They're over I-90 at Barrington Road. At least the tollways, at least I-90, the Jane Addams, is in good shape this morning. We'll check it again in about 10-15 minutes. Tanya and Val, back to you.
All right, Roz, thank you. Now to the latest in a story that was breaking last night at 10. A man and a woman have been found shot to death inside an apartment in the South Loop.
This happened right by Wintrust Arena. Christian Picos is live there with what we know so far. Christian.
Tanya and Val, good morning. We just learned from the medical examiner's office that 36-year-old Joseph Fry was the other person found dead in this South Loop apartment. Chicago police say the shooting on the 2000 block of South Indiana Avenue right by Wintrust Arena is still under investigation this morning, but the brother of one of the victims is still working to find out what exactly happened. Chicago police say 45-year-old Leticia Zaragoza and 36-year-old Joseph Fry, who Zaragoza's brother says was her boyfriend, were found dead with gunshot wounds to the head. Police say the two were discovered sometime between 2 p.m. Sunday and 3 p.m. Monday. Zaragoza's brother says his father called him to share the news that his sister had died, leaving this family devastated. He says he had to come to the apartment to himself to learn more.
Find out what really happened. You know, if anybody's responsible, they catch them.
Garcia also says that his sister and her boyfriend live in the apartment together. Police have not said whether they are looking for a suspect. Tanya and Val, this morning Chicago police say this shooting is still under investigation. Back to you.
All right, Christian, thank you. Joliet police are asking for the public's help to find the gunman who shot and killed a 24-year-old mother in her car. Her 2-year-old child was left unharmed in the back seat. 24-year-old Maya Smith's body was discovered Saturday near Clement and Ingalls on Joliet's north side. Police called off a briefing of the case yesterday because of what they call the fluid nature of their investigation. Smith's friends are grief-stricken.
We had our babies together. We carried our kids. We did our showers. I can't imagine going through the rest of my life without calling her.
The woman's child is being cared for by a family member.
Another story that was breaking at 10 p.m. last night. The Illinois Senate has passed an amended version of a bill that would ban certain types of assault weapons.
It now goes back to the Illinois House for one final vote. Jessica D'Onofrio joins us with more on what's happening today. Jess.
Tanya and Val, today the Illinois House is expected to vote on an amended version of the assault weapons bill that was passed last night by the state Senate. It was certainly cause for celebration for Governor J.B. Pritzker, who danced the night away at his inaugural gala with a special performance by Bruno Mars. Only hours earlier, before the Senate vote, Pritzker took the oath of office for a second term, saying stricter gun laws was a top priority. The big push coming 6 months after the deadly shooting in Highland Park.
When I campaigned for re-election and promised to pass an assault weapons ban, 8 states already had one. Very soon, Illinois must be the 9th.
The new bill makes a modification on what high-capacity magazines would be banned. For long guns, it would be for those with more than 10 rounds. For handguns, it would be those with more than 15 rounds. And while the state Senate did pass the bill, it came with debate. Now, the amended bill has received a joint endorsement from Governor Pritzker, the House Speaker, and Senate President. The Illinois House reconvenes at noon today when final passage is expected. Val?
All right, Jess, thank you. The highly anticipated trial of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan will take place next April. Madigan's accused of using his position as House Speaker to generate income for friends and associates. He eventually stepped down due to the indictment. The trial will begin April 1st. 2024 and is expected to last 6 or 7 weeks.
And now to Washington, D.C., where the Justice Department has launched an investigation into classified documents found at President Biden's former institute when his personal attorneys were clearing out offices.
Those documents were from the time when Mr. Biden was vice president. ABC's Justin Finch joins us live now from the nation's capital with more on this. Justin.
And Val, the White House is saying it is cooperating with the Justice Department probe and saying, too, a small number of classified records in question were handed over to the National Archives immediately after they were discovered. This morning, ABC News has learned the Justice Department has launched a preliminary investigation into classified records from President Biden's time as vice president. Biden now in Mexico for talks with the leaders of Canada and Mexico, not answering questions about the matter. The White House telling ABC News it's cooperating with the National Archives and the Justice Department, confirming a small number of documents with classified markings were discovered when President Biden's personal attorneys were packing files housed in a locked closet at the Penn Biden Center, where Biden kept an office before his 2020 election campaign. The White House adding the items were handed over to the National Archives the following morning.
There's no indication yet that there's any kind of criminal investigation that's been launched as a result of this finding.
Former President Trump was quick to respond, asking when is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, perhaps even the White House. The White House underscoring the documents were not the subject of a National Archives request, drawing a hard line between this investigation and the Justice Department's criminal probe into the trove of FBI-seized classified records from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
This appears to be a wildly different, at least at this stage, situation than what former President Donald Trump is facing with the criminal investigation into his alleged mishandling of classified documents after leaving the presidency.
And so this morning, sources are telling ABC Attorney General Merrick Garland is assigning U.S. Attorney John Losh to head up this review. The Trump appointee will investigate the chain of possession of those classified documents, Tanya.
Thank you, Justin. Damar Hamlin is back in Buffalo this morning, making remarkable progress after that terrifying collapse on the field. The Bills' safety was released from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center yesterday and transferred to Buffalo General Medical to continue his recovery. Hamlin spent nearly a week in Cincinnati Hospital after suffering a cardiac arrest during Monday Night Football, before doctors say he took a turn for the better.
He has been up with physical therapy and occupational therapy, walking the unit, tolerating a regular diet, meeting with his family.
What a recovery so far. With Hamlin now in stable condition, doctors are conducting tests to determine what caused the cardiac arrest.
It was a long shot, but someone could win the estimated $1.1 billion Mega Millions jackpot tonight. The drawing is right before 10 p.m. We're going to have the numbers on Eyewitness News at 10. The drawing tonight is the 5th largest ever.
I got to get on it.
You buy yours online?
Yeah. They make it so easy to spend money on lotto tickets this way.
Yeah, probably.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
then you don't lose
see
money.
it.
Yep, exactly. All right, I'll get to this later. Your live and local news is just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. And coming up, the Biden administration has announced a new plan that could bring relief to millions of student loan borrowers today.
That's right. But first, Tracy's got your AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
Plus, a new way for Metro riders to track their train status. Ross has that coming up.
Live look outside, 7:11 in the morning, and doesn't look like any sun in this shot. But Tracy said there's going to be a chance of a little bit of sun today, right, Trace? I'm looking forward to that part. You see, I zeroed right in on that.
As you should, my dear. And this morning, yeah, we still have some clouds hovering over Chicago, but there is clearing being reported out to our west. So we've had some showers in Indiana this morning too, but we will get to see some sun today. Some areas could even touch 50 degrees. I think officially at O'Hare, we probably stop at about a 46. More clouds ahead of a front that comes in here tomorrow, and could even see a little patchy fog to start our day tomorrow too. The scenario for Thursday is one that begins as rain and then mixes with transitions to some snow. At this point though, I just do not see a lot of snow coming our way. Here's what's coming our way temperature-wise in the next 10 days. This is not bad to get us through January. I know. I mean, even temperatures into next week so far showing temperatures in the 40s. Right now, showing you the satellite radar imagery. You can see some of those showers that pass by across northern Indiana. But now we're starting to see some of those clouds breaking up a little bit more. Here's the situation on Thursday. So here's 5 a.m. and you see rain starts to move into the area. So Thursday morning's commute could be kind of a cold, wet commute. And then as we go later in the day on Thursday, most likely we see a transition, rain mixing with some snow. It's not looking like any of us are going to get more than an inch of accumulation, however. Ross?
We start with fire activity on the city's northwest side. This is reported as an apartment building fire on Byron Street, just west of California. So we've got a lot of emergency crews responding at that location. Now on the expressways, we've got some pretty heavy traffic, anywhere from 35 to 45-minute travel times on most of your inbound expressways. We've had a couple of crashes off the expressways, including one in the city at Damon and Diversey, again on the northwest side. And then we've got another crash. This just happened in Beach Park, northbound on Sheridan at York House Road. And then we have some good news for Metra commuters, because today they are rolling out MetraTrainTracker.com. Now, what this is a really good way for you to figure out where your train is. It's a train tracking website. It's going to let riders know in real time where the trains are and when they're going to reach the stations. The system uses state-of-the-art GPS technology, and Metra says the upgrade is also going to make it simpler to view the schedules and plan a trip. Keep in mind, the UP Northwest, West and North lines, BNSF and Southwest Service, they're not completely ready yet. They will roll out later this year. Tanya and Val.
All right, Roz, good news and new details this morning about the Virginia teacher who police say was shot by her 6-year-old student. A vigil was held in her honor. And as we learn more about how the child got the gun, here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
This shooting was not accidental.
Police in Newport News, Virginia, for the first time are explaining what happened inside this school where they say a 6-year-old shot a teacher with a 9mm handgun Friday.
I believe that Miss Zorner, Abigail, that she saved lives on Friday.
The chief, emotional as he shared what he says 25-year-old teacher Abby Werner said from her hospital bed about the moment a student approached her during a lesson with no warning and pointed a gun at her. She says she raised her hand in a defensive motion and the boy pulled the trigger, sending a bullet through her hand and into her upper chest. Police say another staffer quickly subdued the boy while Werner sprang into action to help the rest of her class get to safety.
Mrs. Werner was the last person to leave that class, and then she stopped. And she turned around. She turned around to make sure that every one of those students was safe.
Only then did she get help for her wounds.
That's not surprising, but it is heroic.
Investigators say the gun was legally purchased by the boy's mother and was brought to school in a backpack, but it's unclear how he got a hold of it. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The family of George Floyd is taking business applications for grants. They're using the money from the city's wrongful death settlement with the city of Minneapolis. His family won a $27 million settlement from the city in 2021 and set aside $500,000 for grants to businesses in the neighborhood where Floyd died. The Biden administration is trying to make it easier for students to pay back their federally backed student loans. Today, the Department of Education will unveil a new loan repayment program. In the new program, student loan borrowers could pay less money back in a shorter time period. It would revise a payment program that roughly 8 million Americans are enrolled in, known as the Income-Driven Repayment Plan. It is still unclear when the new rule could take effect. The celebration is on in Georgia after the Bulldogs won their second straight national championship in college football. After the victory, tens of thousands of fans packed downtown Athens and even lit bonfires in the street. Georgia becomes the first team to repeat as champions in the college football playoff era. The last team to repeat was Alabama in 2011 and 2012. The #1 Bulldogs trounced #3 TCU by the score of 65-7. Still to stream this morning, a chicken chain restaurant is opening today. How 20 people can win big for a year. That's coming up ahead. And then also next, a settlement is reached for the deaths of 3 women in a Chicago apartment.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
The relatives of 3 women who died inside a Rogers Park apartment building will receive a total of $16 million. That settlement was reached with the owner and the operator of the James Snyder Apartments. People living there say management refused to turn off the heat in the building despite unseasonably hot weather last May. Autopsies showed all 3 women died from heat exposure.
Happening today, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb delivers his State of the State address. The Republican leader has proposed the largest funding boost for schools in more than a decade. He also wants to spend more on public health programs. His speech begins at 6 o'clock tonight. It'll be live streamed on YouTube.
The Chicago Park District hosts Silver Skates starting today. The free speed skating competition has been held in City Park since 1917. Adults and children can take part in 6 events taking place at neighborhood ice rinks across the city through January 19th. The first event is this evening. It's at 5:45 at Midway Pleasance Park. Skates are available to participants free of charge, and you can find more information on our website. That's at ABC7Chicago.com.
A group of Chicago teens arrived back home today after an incredible experience in Ghana. The teens from the organization Good Kids Mad City were in West Africa, in Ghana, to attend Chance the Rapper's Black Star Line Music Festival. While in Ghana, the teens also toured historic sites and they heard stories about African freedom fighters. They also got a chance to see Elmina Castle. It served as the African depot for slavery. What an experience for those kids.
Oh, I wish I could have chaperoned.
Starting today, you'll be able to pick up free mulch at 6 different locations in Chicago. It's coming from the thousands of Christmas trees Chicagoans are expected to drop off during the city's annual recycling program. That program started over the weekend and runs through Saturday, January 21st. There's a complete list of locations on our website and news app.
This is some good news for folks. Raising Cane's is opening a new flagship store in the heart of Chicago's Loop. A 5,000 square foot location store will open today. This is at North Michigan Avenue near Madison Street. To celebrate, 20 lucky customers will win free Cane's for a full year.
Well, if you've ever been to Las Vegas, to the flagship there, and you liked the chicken, maybe you'll be standing outside waiting for the freebie today. Who knows?
Alrighty.
We're going to link up with our Good Morning America viewers. I'll have a news update for you on TV in just a little bit. You're going to see it here as well.
And then when we come back, we're going to hear from a 3-year-old's parents who credit her life to blood donations.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning at 7:23. I'm Tanya Babich. Chicago police are investigating the shooting deaths of a man and woman found inside an apartment in the South Loop. The medical examiner has identified the two as 36-year-old Joseph Fry and 45-year-old Leticia Zaragoza. Authorities say both were found with gunshot wounds to the head. The woman's brother says Fry and Zaragoza were a couple. The circumstances around the shooting are still unclear. Police have not said whether they're looking for a suspect. Let's get a check of the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist Tracy Butler.
Hi there, Tanya. Well, good morning, everybody. And we are starting off the day with, yes, some clouds. Off to the east, there have been some showers. But right now, 30 in Aurora and Joliet, 32 in Woodstock, getting some clearing skies out to the west. And so our temperatures are a bit colder out that direction. We are going to see some sunshine around here today. Those high temperatures officially will hit about 46 degrees today. I fully anticipate somebody is going to head the direction of 50 degrees today. Tomorrow, more clouds coming our way out ahead of a front that is going to bring us precipitation here on Thursday. Roz, after this break.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge and put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back, everybody. We start with this fire on the city's northwest side on Byron, just west of California. They've called out an EMS1 plan. That's a 5-ambulance response. We're hearing on the scanners that it's on the 4th floor of this apartment building, so very active scene. As far as the expressways go, we're still looking at some pretty heavy traffic out there, about a 40-minute, 45-minute average travel time. We've had a couple of crashes, one on the inbound Ike, one on the outbound side. Outbound at Harlem, they just took it off at First Avenue, and now they're heading to another crash on the Eisenhower inbound right around Sacramento, so expect some big delays there.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now 7:27. Sky looks just beautiful. Pretty picture out there. Temps above average and a little peek of the sunshine coming up just a little bit later. But right now, we have to tell you about this. A 3-year-old Oswego girl is alive today, thanks in part to blood donors.
Little Blakely Douglas was diagnosed with leukemia when she was just 2 years old. Her mother and father say they started to notice she was fatigued and was bruising. That's when they knew something was wrong. Her parents say blood donations gave her the chance to fight back.
It's hard to think about it, but without the blood, she wouldn't be here today because she wouldn't have been able to progress to get to the point where she was able to start treatment for her leukemia.
Now, Blakely is undergoing treatment for her childhood cancer with the hope that she'll get to live a full and happy life thanks to those who rolled up their sleeves. Gosh, we wish her a full and speedy recovery. What a beautiful little girl.
I mean, look at that face, is so precious. And guess what? Not only do you have the chance to help babies like Blakely, you also have a chance to be entered into a contest to win Super Bowl tickets when you donate during the Great Chicago Blood Drive. It is tomorrow and Thursday. For the times and ways to sign up, just make sure you visit ABC7chicago.com.
Giving the gift of life, though, incentive in and of itself.
10 minutes.
Coming up this morning, we get an update on today's top stories.
And we will check in with Tracy and Ross for another check of your weather and traffic. Stay with us.
You're watching ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Let's take a quick look at some of the stories we'll be watching for you today. This morning, Chicago police are investigating the deaths of a man and woman found shot in an apartment at 20th and Indiana in the South Loop. The medical examiner's office has identified the two as 36-year-old Joseph Fry and 45-year-old Leticia Zaragoza. Her brother tells us they were a couple. Police have not said whether or not they're looking for a suspect.
The Illinois House is expected to vote today on the amended version of a bill that would ban the sale of certain types of assault weapons. The Illinois Senate passed that revised version last night. It modifies which high-capacity magazines would be banned. Today is the final day of the 102nd General Assembly.
Raising Cane's is opening a new flagship store in the heart of the Loop. The 5,000 square foot location opens this morning at North Michigan near Madison Street. And if you're not familiar with it, Raising Cane's is a fast food restaurant specializing in chicken fingers. To celebrate, 20 lucky customers will win free Cane's for a full year. You just said the magic word. My kids will be out there in a heartbeat.
Oh, chicken fingers.
And I will be with them.
Yeah, and free too.
Yeah, exactly. Good morning and welcome back, everybody. I'm Tanya Babich in for Terrell this morning.
And I'm Val Warner. We're going to take a look outside. Look at that nice shot of our city. I think we're in store for a really decent day. Tracy, did you say some folks may even see 50 degrees today?
I did say that. I indeed did. I think officially we'll probably put a halt at 46, but right now 35 at O'Hare. Average high today is 32. We're above that in most cases right now. The exception, places like DeKalb, Aurora, Joliet, Morris, you're at 32, Woodstock, Pontiac, 34 right now in LaSalle. Your skies started clearing out a little bit sooner, and that's why your temperatures dropped a little more out to the west of the city. As we look at the coming days, today officially we'll hit 46. I even think we get up to 46 around here tomorrow before a cold front comes in to kind of spoil our temperature trend that's coming our way. Let's check in with Roz, see what's going on traffic-wise.
It's a little busy out there. Now we've got another metro delay on the UP North Line. It's an outbound train, 307, running up to 22 minutes behind schedule because of positive train control issues. Big picture, those travel times are high now. They're averaging 50 minutes to an hour on the inbound Kennedy. We've had a lot of little fender benders out there, and we've got a couple more to tell you about. This just happened in Bartlett, Stearns Road, just east of Bartlett Road. We've got crews responding to a crash, and of course, we're still keeping an eye on this fire on the city's northwest side. It's on Byron, just west of California. A lot of ambulances there, and EMS Plan 1 means a 5-ambo response, and the fire we're hearing on scanners is located. It started on the 4th floor. We'll have more choppers heading there by our next report. Back to you guys in the windy studio.
All right, come on over, Roz. It's time to get to today's talkers.
Yeah. Bookstores across London open at midnight local time to start selling Prince Harry's new memoir called Spare. The official first day of sales follows multiple leaks and copies being made available in Spanish in Spain last week. And of course, there have been many interviews from Prince Harry promoting the book. It is a 410-page memoir, and so far Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace have not responded. They are not likely to do so.
All right, here are some takeaways from Prince Harry's memoir. In the book, Harry talked about his drug use, his battle with his brother and his father. Now Harry's story is dominated by his rivalry with elder brother Prince William and the death of his mother, Princess Diana, that is also covered. But of course, she passed away in 1997. In the book, Harry reveals that years later, he asked his driver to take him through the point,
the
tunnel, yes, in
Pont de
Paris,
Lama. Yep.
yes, the site of the fatal crash, hoping it will help end a decade of unrelenting pain for him. Wow, lots of details in this book. We want to welcome in Roz and Tracy right now. Even the title alone is fascinating. Spare, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. You know, his point was that he wanted to empower himself with a title that had basically been bestowed upon him. The idea that royalty needs an heir and a spare. A title that had been used against him his whole life, and he wanted to reclaim it from a position of power.
Well, allegedly, they say that Prince Charles even said to Diana, "You gave me an heir and a spare.
My work here is done."
My work here is done.
That was the end of the quote. Yeah.
And then the talk too, I saw this on one of the interviews because he's done a few big interviews leading up to this release today, where it even talked about his father, what some are saying is his real father. You know, the rumor.
Right, the rumors.
Yes, the rumors are
had.
that relationship has always been strained because he knew, I guess maybe in his soul or in his heart of hearts, that he didn't quite belong.
Does he think that that's his real father? I mean, that's pretty easy. That's pretty easy to figure out these days.
Yeah, well, don't you think it's going to come out one day or another?
Maybe it's in the book.
You know,
maybe it's in the book.
I love Harry and Meghan, and you know, I read an op-ed that was actually pretty critical of them, but I think it had a fair point, and that was you are only given so many opportunities to tell your story. And we've heard now from Harry and Meghan in multiple ways, through the documentary, through this book, through the interview that they did with Oprah. And I think there's some truth to that. I think eventually, people start to tune you out, or perhaps say, thou dost protest too much. I think that Harry has a lot of really important things to say, a lot of really valuable light to shed on an institution.
Is it going to be heard?
Is it going to be heard? And at this point, after speaking so extensively, is he going to be believed? Again, I think he has some very important things to say. I think they both do.
I have to finish watching the documentary.
Yeah,
I got through half of it.
Do you know
me too.
Yeah.
I didn't finish
what's
the last
crazy?
3.
Apparently, my voice is on one of the episodes.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
they have a clip from one of our newscasts where I'm talking here at ABC7 Chicago. Our executive producer Neil texted me. He was like, "The morning mix is in episode, I think, 4 of the Harry and Meghan documentary."
I didn't
like,
get
it's
the
your
4.
voice. It's your voice. So listen.
I will.
I haven't watched it
Wow.
yet, but apparently my voice is in the documentary. There you go.
Isn't that something? Yeah, I haven't gotten to 4, 5, or 6 either.
Now I'm going to go home and watch it.
I'm going to skip 1, 2, and 3 so that I can go to episode 4 and see if it is my voice.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah. Now to the relentless string of storms out on the West Coast in California.
Yeah, at least 14 people have died since last week. Evacuations include the entire town of Montecito, home to Prince Harry and other celebrities. Ellen DeGeneres posting a video showing a raging creek near her home. Here's that video.
So, Montecito is under complete evacuation, the entire town. This is the 5-year anniversary from the fire and mudslides that killed so many people and lost their homes, their lives. This is crazy on the 5-year anniversary. We're having unprecedented rain. This creek next to our house never flows, ever. Probably about 9 feet up, and it's going to go another 2 feet up. We have horses ready to evacuate. We need to be nicer to Mother Nature. Mother Nature is not happy with us. Let's all do our part.
Well, despite the rain, much of California remains under extreme drought. It would likely take years of wetter than usual conditions to reverse that. Isn't that something, Tracy, though, how it can be under a drought, but yet we see all of this rain?
Well, the problem is there's so much runoff with all of this, and that's why you're hearing all these incidents of mudslides. It's really interesting to even see what's going on in the mountains out around the Sierra, where, they're forecasting 50 and 55 inches of snow in a day. And, over this week, there's going to be much more. And some people think, oh, skiing. Not really. Got to be careful. Now we'll have to watch out for potential for avalanche. But, these scenes right here are just absolutely devastating.
And like Ellen said, 5 years after the mudslides, those devastating mudslides from 2018.
Just terrible what is happening out here, and it's not done. They have flood watches that are in effect today, and they are going to get this parade because the pattern of the jet stream, it's not really fluctuating enough to steer it in a different direction at this time.
Oh, boy.
Makes you feel very safe in the Midwest.
Yeah,
really.
And blessed, that's for sure. Okay, now to a streaming series trailer drop.
We're talking about the new Grease sequel, the backstory of the Pink Ladies. It is called Grease, The Rise of the Pink Ladies.
Paramount Plus is dialing the clock back to 1954. Take a look.
Ladies, you must be careful with whom you associate. A girl's reputation is all that she has.
Maybe sometimes you gotta be bad to do good.
This is the word that you heard. It's got groove, it's got meaning.
Things are about to get wild.
This is the word.
The new show will comprise
Ladies,
Yeah, the new show will comprise of 10 episodes. Throughout the series, viewers will get to explore the evolution of the Pink Ladies, a clique of straight-talking high school girls made famous by Stockyard Channing and, am I saying this right?
Stockard Channing.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, I told you, somebody else read this. I'm out of my league, Roz.
Khan as well, Rizzo and Frenchie.
Oh, goodness.
That's such a good show.
The Rise of the Pink Ladies premieres on Paramount Plus on April 6th.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
What, to watch it
and
with
we're
me
gonna have to
for the
have,
first
we're gonna
time?
have to have a watch party.
If I watch it with you, I'd be explaining it to you.
That's what so I'm that person that loves when somebody kind of tells me. You don't have to worry about spoiler alerts with me.
Oh,
I
really?
want to know. Yeah, I'm that. Some people are like, don't talk. Don't tell me anything. They want to figure it out. I'm like, if you tell me, then I have something to look forward to.
If I don't understand, I'll ask. Because there are all kinds of movies where I don't understand what's going on, and I'm like, honey, can you can you spell this out for me? What's happening?
Yeah.
I will just say it's one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. And honestly, I got to see it at a drive-in, which is really
that's the whole
fun
experience.
because of the whole nostalgia of it. And of course, the nostalgia of the movie brings back. But I love the music. Have
you ever seen it on stage?
Yes, I have.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like super fun to see the actual musical on stage.
So which is better, the
singing.
movie or the play?
Oh, I'm always going to say the play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tracy?
I like the movie.
Okay. All right, different perspectives.
I like
Tanya?
it. I haven't seen the play, so I can't speak about
but
it.
the movie for sure.
Movie, so, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I know. I've already had quite a few people who I don't know and friends who texted me, people on social media like, Val, you've never seen it. And then one of my really good friends and his wife said that they were going to have a date night. A double date. So
there you go.
I love a good
I'm looking
excuse for a
forward to
date.
that. Yes. ABC7 Eyewitness News continues streaming out loud after the break. We're back in 90 seconds.
Well, hello there. Happy Tuesday to you. January the 10th is our date and our day. We are starting to see some sun make an appearance. Yeah, there's some blue sky out there. Right now, 29 degrees in DeKalb. It is 36 degrees in Valparaiso, 39 degrees right now in Gary, 34 currently in Waukegan. You get 33 in Kankakee and 31 degrees right now in Morris. Overall, a quiet day, a tranquil day. Highs today officially will probably hit about 46. I still think with some of this sun today, some of you could even get near or at 50 degrees. As for tomorrow, well, probably more cloud cover coming our way here tomorrow, even some patchy drizzle. This is all out ahead of a front that is going to be approaching the area here tomorrow. As for the 7-day, so we start the day with rain here on Thursday. That will mix with a bit of snow. It's going to be kind of a cold day around here Thursday, just cold, damp, and raw, even though those temperatures are still technically above average. Cloudy skies here Friday. We'll watch for some lake effect snow showers over in northern Indiana on Friday. Saturday still looking cold. Sunday start to see the numbers go up just a wee bit. Roz?
Well, we've got a couple things going on. Expressways are super heavy. Their travel times are 50 minutes to an hour, but we've got more information now on this fire on the northwest side of the city. Chopper 7 is over it on Byron, just west of California. And we were hearing this was a 5 ambulance response. We heard that on the scanners, that there were 2 transports, also heard that on the scanners. They do have a lot of equipment on California on Irving Park Road. Byron is where that 4-story apartment building is, and they said that it started, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, might even be 5 stories, but it started on the 4th floor. It's out right now, but it's still active as far as the investigation and the cleanup. Now, I also want to take a look at one of our tollway cameras because we've got a crash on I-88. That's what you're seeing right now at Route 53. Looks like police have everything off on the left shoulder, but it is still causing a huge gapers delay. We also have some traffic, a few cars on the right shoulder from this earlier crash. Again, that's eastbound on I-88 at Route 53. And we'll have another check of traffic for you coming up in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Val and Tanya, back to you.
All right, Roz, busy morning for you. Well, the holidays are over, and while there were surely some generational disagreements, well, everyone was gathered together, there are some hot takes that find common ground.
Now, I'm going to use an expression here that I don't like very much. I think it's kind of disparaging.
Okay.
But I'm quoting.
Okay.
I'm quoting. I'm not saying it myself. A recent Reddit thread had people talking about the cranky boomer opinions that they actually agree with, of course, referring to baby boomers.
Not her words. And it isn't just a millennial versus boomer thing. It was actually people of all ages who were validating boomer takes.
It might be because every generation has a little bit of wisdom to share. So here are the top highlights. People share way too much on social media. I think we can all agree with that.
Yes, that's for sure. Screw touch screens. I want physical buttons, especially in the car.
In the car is helpful. Have you ever thought about that? Like how much harder it is to navigate a touch screen when you're driving?
That's true.
Which you shouldn't be doing to begin
Right.
with. But if you need to change the air conditioning, for example.
Yes. Yeah, you have to do it at the red light because it is tricky. I hate going to concerts and seeing everyone with their phones up.
Yeah, I get that. You have to remind yourself sometimes to actually watch the concert so that you can take it in from a first-person perspective.
Then, if you don't record it, then when you get home, you're like, I wish I could relive that, and you want to see it again. So I've done both. Where
I
I'm
will
like,
say though, you've done, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I will say though, it's kind of cool when everybody shines their flashlight.
It is.
That's neat.
Creates a moment. Okay, I will never own an e-reader.
That's me.
Yeah, you like a good
I
old-fashioned
love my
hard copy.
books.
Yeah.
I love my books. I got lots of shelves to store.
Do you ever
them
do
on.
audio? Audiobooks?
Rarely. Rarely.
I like to do both. Nothing compares to a real paper book, that's for sure.
I take it one step further though. Like I can't even do paperbacks. I'm a hardcover girl.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, here are some of the Reddit thread. I want to read articles online without entering an email. That is so true. Creating an account and giving out my phone number. I want everything to be like that, but this day you can't.
You
They want to
can't.
text you, they want to email you something. I just want to speak to a real person on the phone when I have to call about a business matter. Automated customer service lines are the worst.
Raise your hand if you're the person who's constantly pushing 0, 0, 0, 0, and then when they we have hands raised in the studio here, and then when they ask you like, what is it that you're looking for? I'm like, operator.
Yes.
I don't ever sound angrier than I do when I'm speaking to an automated system.
That's for sure. Paper menus are far superior to codes. The QR codes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, those are some very good hot takes. I like it. Commercial break now. We'll be back after this. Well, this is new at 7 o'clock. A wild undersea scene in the Maldives waters.
Take a look at your screen. Now, this is, wow, look at that. This is video showing a dramatic view of a woman floating in crystal water above a fever of stingray.
Has she lost her mind?
Wow, that's fascinating. Now, stingrays can be very dangerous. An Australian zookeeper, Steve Irwin, was killed by a stingray back in 2006. Remember him? Generally speaking, the creatures are not aggressive and won't attack unless they feel threatened. Statistically, you are far more likely to be crushed to death by a vending machine than to be stung by a stingray.
Unless you are this not so intelligent woman who's swimming in a sea in a fever of them. I didn't even know that a group of stingrays was called a fever, but now I know.
Right. Look at that's.
It's beautiful.
Who took this?
It's beautiful. That's the point. It's for the gram, y'all. Until you get stung by a stingray.
She has a lot of guts, that's for sure.
But I would love to go to the Maldives, by the way, but please take me to waters that do not have a stingray.
I know.
Or sharks,
Maldives.
or jellyfish, or anything else that can
2023, do it. Maldives.
Want to go?
Check it out. Yes, you only live once. Don't get me started on this whole topic Ryan and I had the other day about how we should be living our lives. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
We're talking about our bucket list trips now.
Yes, 2023. Oh, look, we're out of time already. 7:54 in the morning. Thank you so much for watching Eyewitness